Good evening, and I'm going to check the sound because we're back. We are. There is sound. Good evening, and welcome to the Society, our weekly Vaesen RPG campaign. My name is Loki, and I will be your game master for these dark and thrilling tales. It is with great pleasure that I welcome you to this episode 4 of Chapter 8. And I hope that we delight, fright, and intrigue you with mystery and adventure. So, without further ado, let's meet our cast. Oh my gosh. Shit's working, everyone. Like, shit's working. It's like we know what we're doing. It's like we know what we're doing. Honestly. My chat's like, everyone's in the right place. Oh my god, we can hear you. No technical issues, I quit. Oh, dear me. Go on, fire away.
Let's break it. Hi, I'm Jack. No, I'm not Jack. Hi, I'm Dan, also known as Divin Inc., and I am playing Dagmar Eriksson, the Vagabond.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Amy, and I am playing Signy Valebrook.
Hi, I'm Jack. I'm playing Mr. Bartholomew Seaton, the businessman.
We have a number of people we would like to thank for all the resources and contributions they have provided to tonight's episode. The link should appear in the Twitch chat, or they'll be in the details below if you're catching up on our YouTube.
Our virtual tabletop tonight is the incredible Roll20, featuring their dynamic lighting feature and inbuilt character sheets. Go check them out at roll20.net. Our virtual dice are rolled this evening courtesy of 3D Dice, using a recreation of the official Vaesen dice by Handa. In addition, our battle mops were Battle mops? What's a battle mops?
Battle
They
mops!
sound amazing.
Yes! Right, quick, write a note. Inspiration comes at the best moments. Chapter 9, yeah? Haunted mops.
No one cleared that.
Like the ones from Fantasia.
In addition, our battle mops and our battle maps were created using Dungeon Fog and all the amazing assets there. Mops not included.
Our character art was created by the extremely talented Shusha, who you should go check out on Instagram at Shusha UK. That's ZSA UK. Our game tokens and dice roller tokens come from the Vaesen RPG rulebook, from the artist Johan Egerkrans.
The music and ambient sound throughout the stream come from Tabletop Audio and Kevin McLeod at Incomptech, all provided via the Roll20 jukebox. You can check both these amazing artists out via their website at tabletopaudio.com and incomptech.com.
And lastly, while we get all the advertisements and the thank yous and all the copyright infringements out of the way, want to get your hands on some awesome Society merch? Then head on over to our merch store at streamlabs.com/the Society livestream /merch, where you can find everything from our gator artwork to nightcaps and spooky shit and everything in between. And that is it. We did the intro. We did it. We've nailed it. Things are going according to plan. Let's go to the intro video. All right, we're back from the intro video. Well, I feel like we should quit while we're ahead, because so far everything has worked beautifully.
It's been a fun stream, everyone. Goodbye.
We've loved you immensely. You've been fabulous. Thank you for the hype train, the biddies, the subs. Love hearts. Bye now.
Yep.
Catch
Can't
you
wait
next
for
week.
chapter 9.
Oh dear. Right, let's do our little recap, shall we? Full disclosure to all of our viewers. I have entirely forgotten what's going on. And so, as a group, we have reconstructed a series of events via the notes that we have taken and the fabulous YouTube, where every single episode of the Society is available to stream.
Plug.
So here we go, as I attempt to do our recap. Our brave souls have been invited aboard the maiden voyage of the cruise liner, the SS Christiania Fjord. I said SS and then panicked that it wasn't, but I've said it now, so that's what it is. They have uncovered a strange prophecy delivered by one of the other guests aboard the ship, a Madame Leandra Hilding, who has prophesied the doom of the ship and the demise of all upon her at the hands of some terror from the deep. A terror that is being summoned to the ship by a song. A song that not everybody can hear, but that is definitely playing, heard maybe in dreams or in a passing moment. With their impending doom upon them, one of our society members seeks the assistance of a creature that is bound to them by some terrible curse. Signy asks the creature in the box, what is the song? Who is the perpetrator? Who is trying to bring the demise of the ship? And the creature answers her, but not before she is struck suddenly deaf, utterly unable to hear anything at all. Now our brave souls gather together to try and piece together what few clues they have and to try to stop the cataclysm that is prophesized for the SS Christiania Fjord. Right, there you go. I think I'm done now. Thanks.
Good recap.
It's been fabulous. I've enjoyed every minute of it.
Good. That was a good recap. It certainly sparked a few memories I didn't have.
Me too. Literally, I reminded myself of things while I was talking, so... All in all...
Best recaps.
All in all, 5 stars. Would do again, I think.
You might have to.
It's all right. It's all right. Remember, as I said earlier, we're the ones that write the stories, so wing it. That's me handing it over to you guys. I believe that at the moment Signy has decided to begin wailing. Where
did we leave it?
It was literally with Signy wailing at the revelation that the only way for her to get rid of this terrible creature is to gift it to another. Something
I mean, I just have
she
to pick who.
knows. I know, right? But it's something she knows would doom them to a fate worse than death.
Where were we?
In your room, I believe.
We'd gone to my room.
Yeah. Well, this was after they'd had to rescue you from being locked in the toilet, if you remember. We had to shim the
Not
toilet
my
door up
first
off its
time.
hinges. I'm going to make a note of that for the next time we do a Meet the Cast episode. Tell us an interesting story that you've partly revealed in a stream, like, for example, not your first time being locked in a toilet.
And needing help getting out. Yeah, I think had we all gone back to the room, or was it just...
It was it was all of the society members.
Yeah.
Yeah. Weren't we trying to figure out how to communicate with you?
I think we worked on writing.
Yes.
I think we started writing. Did we?
I
Yes.
can't remember that.
I'll go with
Yes, we had.
but did we have a plan?
No.
No.
That you hadn't managed. Which is maybe a good thing.
I feel Signy's probably gone quiet and is a bit shut into herself. Thinking. Trying to work out.
Have we both reached the conclusion that are we both in realization that this creature in a box, this box had taken the hearing away?
Yes.
Because Mr. Seaton was able to recall a previous time where the assistance of the creature had been sought and it had helped.
Make it leave from everywhere.
It had helped. In a really kind of Grimm's fairy tale wishes kind of way.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Because I can imagine this is Dagmar's first understanding of this.
Yeah.
Not having experienced that previous help, so Dagmar's leaning on Seaton in a way of kind of like, so wait, the creature in a box is real, and it keeps punishing Signy every time she asks it for help?
Every time she asks for help, yes.
How did you rectify any problems last time?
I believe, and the thing is, at this point, in Seaton's head, multiple different versions of the account are happening.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true, because you're 100% somewhere in between two completely separate personalities.
Oh.
Once, she managed after a while to resume herself. With just a little bit of time, she came back to herself.
Okay. So is it
The thing
feasible?
is-
Do we think it's feasible a hearing might come back if we just keep her safe?
This is feasible to believe that, though it's depending on how long that's going to take. This is, though, a grave thing to lose one's hearing. She was, however, last time bleeding from everywhere. A lot.
At least this affliction is less messy.
It's more respectable, yes. We're going to allow it to be in public at least. But she won't want to do that.
Did we ascertain, in having established communication, have we ascertained that Signy was trying to find out who is the danger on this boat? Or we just know that Signy had asked for help?
I think I managed to tell at least Seaton that I'd asked and hadn't got an answer,
Okay.
and then just went deaf. I'm sure I'd managed to communicate
fine.
that.
This thing has tricked her again.
I appreciate there's a lot going on this boat right now. Is there not any way we can help her here by getting rid of this matchbox demon thing?
I don't think Seaton knows how to get rid of it yet, does he? He hasn't been told. By anyone.
Yes, Dagmar did the big reveal at the end of last episode
right,
that you
right.
have to gift it to someone.
Oh, I knew.
Yeah, you and
Yeah?
Ian had a big conversation
Yes,
about
because
it.
you asked Madam Hild.
Sorry.
No, it's all
Yes.
right.
Right, yeah.
You
Yeah,
asked
you
Madam
asked.
Hilding, and she told you.
Yes. Okay.
She thought I
So,
was crazy, basically. So ask more questions.
Okay. So, yeah, Dagmar's going to kind of explain that we need to find a way. The only way to get rid of this from Signy is for Signy to gift it to another person, but the implications of that on the other person are quite dire.
There must be another way around it. But we don't have the resources now to research it. And risking
Unless we-
2 issues on this ship. One with being whatever this song is and whatever our impending doom may be. Also then having the matchbox creature being released onto someone is too many things happening at once.
But please feel free to create utter pandemonium.
Ding.
Please.
Unless,
Please be
if there
my
is
guest.
someone causing these issues, Seaton, what if we could find a way to get Signy to gift the box to said person who is a danger? Could that possibly kill 2 birds with 1 stone?
Depends. If this creature is able to take control of them and they're this powerful to cause something to sing to the ship, we're allowing this creature to potentially have that power as well. And if it's as evil as it seems to be, that's a lot of power, and it's not going to help us once that happens. It's going to use everything it can to stop us.
I'm out of ideas. Probably because I haven't had a brandy in at least 24 minutes.
Luke, don't shake your head like that. You're not playing into your...
One of you
Honestly,
could take it.
There's always one sensible naysayer that's like, maybe we shouldn't open like a portal to hell. The disappointment is real.
Sometimes you just want to open the door and have a look inside. They might have a good buffet on. You just don't know.
And I love a good buffet.
No, I don't. Everyone keeps touching the food.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
I'm fine.
I love a good buffet.
Is there any more information we can get off Madame Spooky? Do you think maybe if we ask the right questions?
I think we asked the questions we know how to ask. I just kind of turn back to Signy and just kind of look at her and try and get her attention. And then write down a bit of paper. Are you sure you don't know who it is? And just pass it across to her.
Signy's gone from like all of her stressed out pacing and crying. She doesn't read your piece of paper, she just pushes it away. And she sits down and she's kind of rocking and just saying to herself, I already know the answer. I already know the answer. Because that's all he said to me, right? Is that I do know the answer.
Uh-huh.
So she's just going to keep repeating it to herself and rocking back and forward. I already know the answer. I don't know the answer. She's going to grab the pen and paper and just like randomly scribble and see if anything comes out. As though like
She love this. Well, but this is the thing. Like, you've spent all your time growing up in like a con artist medium kind of show, so automatic handwriting is the thing. Like, you probably would just lean on things you know are supposed to be real.
I just sort of sit up straight, cross my legs, take some deep breaths, and start scribbling to see if anything takes control.
See if anything takes control. I love this. I love this. Okay, yes, 100%. I'm totally ready for this. I'm very excited. You're going to be the first roll of the evening.
Yes, here we go.
That's right. You are going to be the first roll of the evening. I'm just giving chat a minute to remember what they can do. Yes! This is what we're about.
There we go. Straight in there with help. And thanks, Mike, for the hinder.
Hinder?
They're
You got
off.
help first.
They're all off. All right. Signy, give me a magic roll. I'll help you through this because you don't do these very often. When you open your character sheet, you should see that just above where it says Vaesen, there are 4 buttons that say PC Headquarters NPC Vaesen.
I can see them.
Press the Vaesen button.
It's impressive. Whoa, it did it without me pressing it. Are you in control of it?
No.
Okay.
It must be your telepathic powers. And then do a magic roll for me by clicking on magic, which is in the attributes.
I was just waiting for it to do it on its own there. Right. Any other modifiers?
No, none.
Submit.
Ooh, nice. 2 successes. Okay. You scribble on the paper, and then you stare at it, like desperately looking for an answer that you feel.
Some sort of hidden message.
Some sort of hidden message, some sort of code, anything, really. Inside the scribbles, you do see letters, but not a word. It's as if your subconscious knows the answer but can't quite get to it and has remembered pieces of it. The letter P. The letter L. And the letter C.
In that order?
Yes, but like sort of jumbled in the scribble.
Yeah.
What were the letters again?
I'm just going to turn my piece of paper around and start like
P
pointing at it.
for pterodactyl.
That was cruel.
It's lucky I know how to spell that. The first 2 letters, anyway.
That's right. P for pterodactyl. C and L. I've now given them to you in a different order, just
I
to
was going to
really
say it was
confuse you.
PLC. After a few minutes of scribbling and seeing these letters, yeah, Signy's just gonna like hold up a piece of paper and be circling them and showing them to the others.
We can interpret the same letters?
I've written them underneath and circled them and like underlined them, and I've written it about 5 times. Just over in different orders, trying to work out if anything will click. We need a list of people. We have one of those somewhere.
There is a flash of light that illuminates the cabin for the briefest of seconds. It's such a quick flash that each of you aren't even sure if you saw it. But the sky answers as you hear a gentle roll of thunder.
Do I hear it?
No.
Ugh.
I feel our timer is starting to run out.
You might be right. What is PLC? What could that mean? Where's
really
We've got a list of people somewhere.
yeah, where's I don't remember where we had it.
The issue Jack has is that he can't spell, so none of the names are probably spelt right.
Hang on, I've got it on my notes somewhere in here.
If in doubt, there's always going to be a passenger manifest.
Yes, that was going to be my second suggestion. Maybe we can. Is it worth us getting hold of a passenger manifest? Preferably one that also includes staff personnel as well.
I was going to just suggest the same.
You need to find a captain.
We know that we've met the captain, haven't we?
Oh. Well, I think you have. I think I was on my 5th glass of champagne by that point.
Yes, one Captain Odney Nilsson.
Yes.
I guess we'll have to ask.
Judging by the noise, I think we should probably go straight away. It's starting to sound a little bit...
Do we want to leave Signy here or bring her with us?
At the minute, I'm just staring at you both, waiting for you to have the answer.
Maybe we should ask her. I think it would be wise to stick together.
I think so too. I'm thinking also if she sees the name, it might spark something if these letters do in fact mean something.
Good idea. The name may form inspiration. Like she said, she knows the answer, apparently.
Because I can't hear what you're saying, she's just going to go, do you know the answer? Do you have any idea? What? Do we?
Dagmar's going to
Looking at you
take the
really
paper
expectant.
and just write in front of Signy of we think we need to find a passenger manifest. We're going to find the captain.
She walks out the door and starts heading to the captain.
There we go. Off we go.
Answers that question, and yes, we are fully dressed. Yeah, I'm just kind of like looking at myself in the mirror quickly, just smart myself up, and then head out.
Ethan, hurry up!
We are
Think
meeting
he's
the
on a
captain. It is
mission.
still good to be well presented.
Oh,
They are a high-class representative of this ship.
Signy might as well be
A ship.
running.
Dagmar.
Not that she knows
burps
where
and
she's
says
going,
something-
actually.
Dagmar just burps and possibly swears under their breath.
Love.
I'm practically running towards where I think the captain would probably be.
Fair.
I'll just ask the first person I bump into, even though I'm not going to be able to hear them, but she hasn't worked that out yet.
Dagmar's right behind.
Seaton is close behind. just a little bit too far back. He's got to keep himself regal.
Could possibly run.
No.
You make your way up the stairs from the first class deck where you're staying to all the way up to the top deck, which is where the ship's command center is, and where the office and captain's quarters reside. You, as you come outside, because to access the kind of control bit, you actually have to come outside, up the stairs, and back into the ship. As you head outside, it is raining. The sea is as dark as the clouds above, and they are roiling dark clouds illuminated by flashes of lightning that forks its way across the sky. Between the lightning and the thunder, there's still quite a gap, meaning the storm is not yet upon you. But you get the feeling that the storm is heading towards the ship. You spill into the command deck of the ship, pressing buttons. So I can go press this button, press that button, press this button. Here we go. Grab this, grab that. Plonk, plonk. And then...
Exclamation mark plonk in chat.
Et voila! Plonk, plonk, plonk. Et voila. You spill into the command room, and in fact, the command room is almost as alive as nature is outside. Captain Nilsson is shouting orders at the sailors, who are kind of whizzing about. Who are whizzing about from controls to map, relaying information back at the captain, who, in the quick few seconds that you arrive, you realise she is trying to navigate away from the storm, but they seem to be having trouble escaping it. Every time you get this sensation that they've been trying to steer the ship away from the storm and seem to just be getting more and more and more into the storm.
Captain, what seems to be happening here?
She turns and looks at you, and you can see there's like a grim expression on her face, and she says, "No matter what we do, no matter how we navigate, this storm is coming upon us. It looks like we're going to be in for a bumpy ride.
Dagmar's going to kind of step forward a bit with a proclamation of, you're not going to be able to outstay this storm. We have reason to believe this storm is coming right for this boat, and there's something bringing this storm here. No matter where you go, the storm's coming.
Her first officer looks at you, Dagmar, turns to Captain Nilsson, and he says to her, I told you, Captain, this is an accursed storm.
Signy has no idea what's being said.
No.
And can't read a room at all because she's terrible. So she's just going to realise that nobody's giving them the piece of paper they want, and is going to go, we need the names of everybody. And I'm going to nudge one of the other two to ask for it. Come on.
Captain, is it possible to have a copy of the manifest of all personnel on board, please?
She turns and looks at you with a puzzled expression, like she's just telling you that nothing she does is going to escape this storm, which looks like quite a bad storm. She's clearly in a this is a state of disarray as she's trying to keep everybody safe. And now you're like, can I have the passenger list? So she's going to look at you and kind of frown a little bit.
Captain, Captain, I am not going to go into the full details as to why, because I do not want to stress your men out under superstitions of sailors.
Inspiration roll.
Dagmar support this push.
Yes, absolutely. So, inspiration roll. You have a hinder in play at the moment, so that's a -1 on your dice roll. But Dagmar is going to help, so that's going to negate your hinder through teamwork.
Okay. There we go. That's what I'm talking about.
Ooh. Well, I mean, you'll be getting that list, I guess. There's something about the urgency with which you say it to her. No, it's not the urgency. It is the command in your voice. It is... It is, in this moment, where Lieutenant Colonel Bartholomew Seaton kind of comes out of you, and you... Colonel Seaton is used to giving orders and having them followed. And he gives orders to this room to give you that manifest list. And everyone in this room hears the command, the power, and the position in the Colonel's voice. And she doesn't even think about it. She just looks at her first officer and she's like, grab them that list from the desk in my office, and then grab me that shoreline map. We're going to need it to make sure we don't run up against anything. Which, by the way, chat, really dark reference right there. The SS Christiania Fjord is a real ship that did run aground in a storm and sink.
Well, that holds up. Great.
There you go. Historical tidbit.
Historical tidbit. Is it a fixed point in time? Let's find out.
Back through the door.
Wobbly.
He runs into her office and he comes out. He kind of palms you off this list while unrolling another map out onto the map table and fixing it down with map blocks. The room immediately goes back to her shouting orders and getting information relayed as they try and transfer the real-time map they're making from the bigger map onto one of these closer shoreline maps. Everyone
If
else, they all just seem to ignore you all of a sudden as they go to their jobs.
Perfect. Just as I'm handing the manifest, I just kind of want to just nod my head to the captain and then take it and kind of cluster into this corner here if we can.
Yeah, there is. Just in this corner, there is a table with seats.
Perfect. I just won't sit down, just kind of stand up and put the manifest down and drag Signy over to it and kind of look through it.
Agma's gonna lead. So it's stood at the end of this table area where, Seaton and Signy are looking through, but he's doing what Dagmar usually does, and that's trying to read the room. The question I have is, in amongst all of our kind of demands and all the hubbub, is there anybody who looks either suspicious of us or uncharacteristically calm?
Ooh, good question. Give me a observation check. You have a help.
+1, okay. Yay.
Yeah, nice.
Yes.
Okay, everybody in the room is like absolutely devoted to their work, except for the first officer, who every now and then is glancing over in your direction. He's not looking over suspiciously, and he himself doesn't look suspicious. You get the feeling that he is looking over towards you guys, number one, out of interest, but mostly because he has already voiced that he thinks that this is a cursed storm. And you, as a group, have positioned yourself that you also believe it to be a cursed storm. So he's sort of furtively looking over every now and then, where he is sort of listening into your conversation.
And I'm guessing Dagmar would have probably picked up not only that he was already claiming a cursed storm, but clearly is showing interest in our line of thought.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, for sure.
Dagmar's just going to keep a side eye on him for the time being while Seaton and Signy look through the list.
Yeah, we start trawling through the list.
Oh no, Signy has almost snatched it but hasn't snatched it,
Yeah.
and is doing that frantic looking through, almost forgotten the fact we have these letters and is just expecting something to jump out at her.
Nothing does
reading.
Nothing does just jump out at you.
She'll get frustrated and end up sort of throwing it under Seaton's eyes and huffing.
How is this list organized? Is it organized with personnel, as in staff,
It is
first, or is it
alphabetically organized, and there is a separate sheet for guests and crew. So the crew manifest is it's not just a list of people, it's also like their rank, what their job is, who they report to, where they're stationed, all of that information is also included in there. The other list, which has all of the guests aboard, is just names and room numbers. And class, but everyone's first class, so...
Well, the letters on the sheet are done as PCL or PLC.
PLC.
PLC. Seaton will alphabetically look at P first then.
All right. P. Guests first.
Guests first. Yes.
Okay.
Seaton's not going
Then.
to that staff have done it to start with.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Guest list. Here we go. Starting with P. You have got Percival Laird, Pertlu Tuamala, Parshina Dmitrievna. Spell that.
I couldn't even for the last one.
There
It didn't have an L and a C, we're alright.
Crossing out. Thank you.
And those. That's it. They're the only P's.
Okay, so Percival's the closest so far then. You just kind of point at Percival on the list and then look to Signy. This is going to take some time.
Dagmar's going to turn and try and offer some assistance.
Please.
Have you checked the staff list?
Doing that now.
Percival Laird is one of the brothers, wasn't he?
Yes.
What was the other brother called?
Horatio!
That's it.
Ratio.
There are no staff beginning with P.
The staffing list, does it also include their position on board?
Yes, it does.
Is there any positions on board that start with P?
There are not.
Okay. What is the name of the first officer?
The first officer is called Axel Hagen.
I bet he is.
Like Hagen does. Nom 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 nom.
Creamy and decadent.
I'm sure he is.
Okay.
Have to just try the other letters.
Yeah.
Because they might not be in the right order.
Out of interest, would Seaton see that this also is the initials for corporal? CPL.
I mean, possibly.
Well, is there going to be a small part of him that's kind of tugging at that?
Maybe.
Are there any
Why
corporals?
do you think you're to blame?
I was never a corporal.
Is Seaton going to share this with Dagmar, though?
Yeah, he'll say that aloud. That CPL, like, that's corporal. That's the short form for corporal.
Do we have a corporal on board? Do we know? Dagmar's going to quickly look through the staff list, because Dagmar doesn't understand rank.
No, there is not a
corporal.
corporal.
The sportsman. The sportsman that was here. Has he served? You spent some time with him, having a few drinks and playing cards.
Oh, you mean Wenzel, the Olympian?
Wenzel, yeah. I'm not aware. Would Dagmar have discussed that? I don't remember. I don't remember during our dialogue if we did, but obviously there was a
No, I
lot of
don't think
dialogue
we
that had
did.
happened.
Yeah, I mean, maybe. Because, I mean, I always think of Dagmar as being the person that asks, like, all the right questions.
Yeah,
And gets away with it.
Dagmar normally will not only try and read a person, but to try and find out as much about them to understand their triggers and their buttons and their likes and dislikes. Now, we definitely didn't bring it up in the dialogue of the game, but I wonder if there's any way Dagmar would have, in those times when small talk was happening, it would have happened.
Yeah. I definitely think you will have spoken about it, but Wenzel has not been in the army. Or the forces, I should say.
In this time, Signy's paced about a couple of times and comes back, takes it again, and starts looking at other letters. So she'll look at L's.
Alright. There are no L's on the guest list. There are also no C's on the guest list.
Okay. And the star?
Same again. No C's or L's.
Does Percival Laird have a title? I nearly said something. No.
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 Dagmar's going to turn to the first officer and call him over.
He will come over, and he's like, do you need anything else?
You seem to be on board with the idea that this storm is cursed. We don't want to cause alarm with other people, clearly. There could be superstitious work at foot, as my wonderful colleague here has just said. But we believe that there is a person who may be influencing events aboard this ship. Do the letters PLC mean anything to you?
You see his eyes go, like his eyebrows go up when you make the suggestion that that someone is to blame, or that there is some foul play afoot. But then when you ask him a direct question, he starts thinking again. And he says, "No, I'm sorry, nothing rings a bell."
Well, the only, if your corporal theory plays a part, the only one person I know here that's ever had that name linked to them is you, Seaton.
Oh.
No, that has not been linked to me. There's no link to that to me.
No. I can literally see you be like, no. And probably immediately reaching for your rose pin.
Uh-huh. Yep.
And as you kind of, just as Axel turns to walk away, stops, turns back round, like, and then he does the thing where he puts his hands on the table and leans in forward. You know, like where someone wants to say something quietly, so as not to draw like too much attention to themselves. And he says, quite quietly, If you think that there's foul play and curses and magics about the ship, then maybe we should try to get the help of the ship's roll. Which is a word that you would probably know. Yeah, you would probably know. All of you have spent time in the hall under the mountain looking at books and like,
maybe not.
Maybe not. Give me.
I probably would have done. I actually know what one of those is.
Give me a learning roll. Everyone, give me a learning roll.
I can't hear him, so.
And we'll take that. Oh! Don't give me a learning roll.
Do we have helps or hinders?
There is, 2 helps.
Okay.
So +1. You don't need to add the plus, just the 1.
Smash and go.
Ooh. Nice! Successes for the both of you. Okay. Through whatever mechanism it is, whether it be reading books in the hall under the mountain, or a memory from an unknown location, place, and conversation that can no longer be truly recalled or remembered. But both of you know that a ship's roar is it's like a funny little troll gnome creature that lives aboard a ship and kind of is like the caretaker, keeper, soul of the ship. Lots of old folk stories suggest that ships that run aground or get lost or that crash often do so because the crew dishonour the ship's roar, so it punishes them by sinking the ship, basically. But as mean as they are, they're also nice too. If you look after one, they can create lights in fog, and they can change the flow of the ocean to save ships or bring wind when sails are dead. All those sorts of things. So they're a bit like a guardian spirit-ish. But in true folk story, nothing is ever truly good or bad.
So, wait, I'm confused. So these things can exist aboard a boat, or they
should do.
And
every boat should have one.
Every boat should have one.
Yep,
okay.
They kind of just manifest.
I guess
the boat.
Dagmar would turn to Axel and with slightly confused look, like, how would we find and communicate with said creature?
He just shrugs and raises his hands, and he's like, I don't know. They're always supposed to live in the heart of the ship.
Axel, have you heard a song at all?
He like frowny faces you. I mean, there's been quite a lot of music aboard the ship.
No, I mean a song when you're on your own, appearing out of nowhere.
No, I can't say I have. And anyway, all sailors know not to follow strange songs, lest it be a merfolk luring you to the depths. And then you hear the captain kind of shouts a request over at Axel, and he kind of does that thing where he kind of tries to excuse himself whilst moving off to do something, and he does that kind of awkward, like, and then he goes to go and do the task, and he begins relaying more information back at the captain.
So given we know what's it called? A Shep's roll?
Yeah. The
Given we know what they
spelling of
are,
it is
do we know-
wild.
Do we know also how we might go about finding one?
Well, Axel has just said that they often live in the heart of the ship, but that's going to be that's like an odd, like, what would the heart of the ship
What's the
be?
heart of the ship?
It's almost as if all I ever do is give you more questions.
I know.
Somewhere it's in the job description now. Sorry.
GM. On
Oh,
that, well, GM.
Gosh, you're using my title. Oh my gosh.
Uh-oh.
It's just in chapter 3, when we were investigating the mermaid that was there.
Yes.
Did you manage to get the mermaid's name?
Please hold, chat.
I don't know.
The fact that you don't know means that the PLC
Clearly
has
not
absolutely nothing to do with it.
I don't know. Oh my god, chapter 3. I don't even know if she has a name. Well, that's chapter 4. I was like, there's a lot of murders happening in that chapter. Oh, it's chapter 4. I don't even know if the mermaid had a name. Well, she obviously did, but I don't think you know it. Nope. I don't have a mermaid name written down.
No, it's obviously got nothing to do with it. Alright. No worries.
It seems we really don't have very much to go off here.
No, the only one that seems to match the initials is Percival. But I think talking to the ship's drawer is a good move.
What the?
The heart of the ship would probably be on this ship with the engine room.
Signy's going to lean forward between you two and just be like, I see a lot of talking, but what are we doing?
Just quickly, Signy, have you continued to look at the list while these conversations have been happening?
Oh yeah, she's like frantically just looking for anything that might.
That's what I needed you to say. That is what I needed you to say. Look for anything. There are several names on the guest list that have all 3 of those letters in. Just in various different orders.
That's what I was thinking about. Percival is in there, but has all the letters in the right order.
Percival Laird has all of the letters, but not in the right order. So does Scarlet Pierce.
She
is the cruise liner is a Norwegian American line ship. She is the American in Norwegian and American. Shettle Moreland is the Norwegian part of that. But so she has got all the letters in her name. So does where is she? So does... Who's the third person? So does Amelia Campbell. She is, if you remember, the shipbuilding company is Camel and Laird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, 2 of the ship makers and 1 of the owners of the ship all have those letters in their name.
Signy's been doing this and she's picked up a writing implement and is lining these, and then she realises that all of their surnames are PLC. And she's going to storm back to the room without saying anything, with the piece of paper, waving it. Because she's aware that she probably shouldn't talk in this room.
I suppose we follow her.
It's not that we can shout for her to stop. Let's go.
Okay, you're heading back to... Where are you headed?
To my room.
To your room. Okay, lovely. I'll plonk you down and then I'll just plonk you all in. Alright, there you go.
Okay.
Charlotte looking at you now.
Oh, I can't see anything. My screen's not there.
That thunder sound
So-
was much louder than I thought it was going to be.
So I'm guessing we probably all have basically grabbed papers and stuff so that we can communicate with Sigmy. But Dagmar's going to get straight to the point. Just write down the question. What did you find?
I've stormed in the room, and Signy's usually quite polite and childish, and she's just going to throw the piece of paper with it circled and just go, "Arseholes," and throw it on the bed. And that's as aggressive as she can sound.
That's 3. 3 of them. That makes sense.
How does this... Dagmar's so confused. Like, how does this make sense? These are the 3 people who are involved in the making of the ship or owning the ship? Are you suggesting these are the people who are trying to bring it down?
People who don't want it to work.
Even if they're on board?
They may think they have a way off beforehand. So, just to clarify, so Percival is the brother.
Yeah.
Scarlet
Scarlet
Price
is the American part.
is the American part.
Yeah. Scarlet Pierce is the American CEO of Norwegian American Line.
And
Percival Laird is part of Camel and Laird, as is Amelia Camel. Which I realise every time I say it sounds like I'm saying camel.
Yeah, I just literally wrote that down.
But enjoy.
Camel and Laird sounds like a cigarette company.
That's because Camel used to make cigarettes.
They did.
Horrible
And
one.
are you prepared? The original strap line for Camel's cigarettes was the Doctor's Choice.
That means they're good.
They didn't taste good, I can tell you that.
Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! That was bad advertising.
Okay.
So we've got 3 people involved in this ship, potentially maybe wanting to bring the ship down.
Mm-hmm.
Could they have influenced the ship's roar? Now that we've sort of been suggested, and we've, it's entirely feasible the ship has one. Do we find these 3 and corner them, or do we try and find what they have influenced if they have.
Confronting them could make the situation worse. Especially if they've got this power. We know if they are part of the Rosen Cross, then we've seen what they can do.
Yeah.
Head-on attack with 3 of them. Though I can't see Percival being much of a... he's more of a weasel than anything else, if I remember correctly.
You've always got to be aware of the sneaky ones. That
Yes.
so confidently.
He would do anything to save his own skin, from what I remember of him. I hardly got to speak to him. Scarlet would seek further power. Anything to pursue her own goals. Amelia Campbell. I'm trying to remember if I've spoken to her.
I don't think Dagmar spoke to any of these 3, did they?
No, Dagmar
No.
immediately looked at all the hobnobby weasels and was just like, no, I'm not talking to any of them. And that's where Mr. Snobbington got his name. Mr. Snobbington, you can go and talk to them.
Yeah, that's right.
I can't really remember Amelia.
I don't know if we.
Okay. I think we continue to try and find the heart of the ship. Find out if this ship is going awry, then there's something that might be interfering there.
Seems like a good place to start. Like you say, if we confront these 3 and they are involved, it could either escalate things or they're certainly not going to admit anything to us.
No.
We need evidence before we accuse them of anything, if they are to be accused.
There is a stomach churning moment just as this little silence kicks in, where the ship obviously crests a much larger wave than it has done this entire journey, and all of you get that horrible feeling of falling for just a second as your stomachs like lift up as the ship crests over this wave and drops down into the shallow on the other side. It makes the ship kind of make that I'm gonna have to do it now because I've made a commitment to it. It kind of, when the ship makes that kind of like noise as it tips over and it creaks and groans as it does so, and a lot of the like the little, like all the little crystal bits on the lamps in the room kind of chingle together. There's like a real noticeable moment where the ship kind of heaves over a wave much bigger than normal.
Let's find this ship out as soon as possible. And just kind of write it down to signal of where we're going. And kind of try and drag her along.
Signy is half crying again at this point. She'll read your note, but when you try and touch her, she's going to pull away from you and just kind of behind tears, like, you brought me on this ship to be with your posh friends.
I did not mean for this to happen.
I can't hear you. And then she's just going to start walking and follow you wherever you're going.
Seaton will slowly turn and head towards the engine room.
All right.
Let's go.
So you're all headed to the engine room.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
All right, lovely jubbly. It just means that I can make sure that I position you all in the correct place. All right, here we go. Flick, clip, dip, 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 dip. I'm really glad you've gone down into the engine room because I'm actually quite proud of the map.
Mop.
The battle mop. I'm actually quite proud of the battle mop, and I was a little bit worried that we'd never visit it. Different noises down here. All right, let me put you. Who are you all? Right, I have one Signy. I have one Seaton.
Whoa.
And I have Dagmar. Voila.
Wow.
And then
Okay.
I will do this. Oh, I will do this. And then I will do that. Et voila.
The
Okay, this map's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
It's super cute, right? I was quite happy. I was quite proud of myself. Okay, so the engine room. This is the steam-powered ship. All right. So as soon as you come down here, it is loud. It is hot. It smells of coal and and smoke and soot, and you have got the roaring sound of all the fires that are being tended by a team of engine room staff. So all of the furnaces are being tended and kept stoked. Then there's all the boilers above those. All of the boilers are then feeding into a turbine system, which it is the turbine system that is then driving the propellers of the ship. And it's being done in the kind of old manual way, where in the command, they're pushing and pulling the handle, and it's then going like down here, so that they can then control how much steam they're putting into the turbine system. So there is a little bit of a delay because the controls upstairs don't immediately, like the controls upstairs rely on the people down here to manage the steam. There are rails down here with little rail carts on them, and this is what they're using. They're filling them with the coal and wheeling them along to feed into all the furnaces. It is noisy and dirty.
The first thing Seaton's going to do when coming kind of in here is one, trying to avoid getting himself dirty. The second being he's looking for any kind of symbols, runes or anything that might be on the walls anywhere, either scratched in manually or painted on, anything like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Give me that investigation check. You have a hinder
Ruh-roh.
because chat love you.
It's fine. It's fine.
Now I'm uncomfortable. It is nearly 9:30.
Shh. Don't
We
say
have
it.
we have
Don't
not
say it.
had a technical issue yet. And Mr. Seaton has managed to successfully roll Full stop, actually. Full stop at all. What is this? What's going on?
Witchcraft.
The world is ending tomorrow.
Oh my god! Oh, that's boo.
I cleanse my altar. That's what it is.
I mean, you've cleansed Summon. I mean, I don't know what you've done with yourself, but like, I don't want to know what you've done with yourself that's got you in this situation, actually. But you've cleansed Summon. Your chakras, or I mean, something has been thoroughly cleansed. You might want to start a blog post of how you've achieved this.
This is how we make millions, Jack. Come on.
Yeah. Sorry, getting completely sidetracked, derailing myself with witnessing the horrors of the impending apocalypse unfold. Okay, no. The answer is no. I'm so sorry. I always feel bad when you get successful rolls and then I'm like, you find nothing! No, there's nothing down here. There's nothing that sticks out down here. In some of the previous cases that you've attended, you've found like troll crosses or, iconography, symbols, those sort of things. But you don't find anything like that down here in the engine room.
From what we know, that at the heart of the ship, do we know what they like to appease them?
No, probably not. You only got one success in your learning roll, so
Okay.
you get the bare minimum. While you're all down here, one of the engine room staff, here he is. Quick, pull up fantasy name generator in preparation for someone asking his name.
What's your name?
Okay, one of the... I'm not ready! It's still loading. One of the engine staff comes over and he says, are you lost? Or looking for someone in particular?
Or just investigating the ships and making sure the investment of Seaton steel has been well executed throughout the ship.
And now you see him panic because now he's like, oh my god, these are fancy rich people from upstairs. And he kind of like, you see him try and pull his waistcoat a little bit and like try and brush some of the soot off of himself. And he's like, yes, you want to speak to Ivan, and he points in. Quick, get the thingy. He points in this direction.
Thank you, sir. Just kind of looking him over before he binds himself. Is he wearing like a troll cross or anything on himself?
Oh, that is a good question. Not that you can see.
Not that you can see.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. It's always good to see the heart of the ship to make sure that everyone's happy.
He smiles at you.
Yeah,
Yes.
nothing that seems to trigger with that or anything.
No.
Okay, cool. I'll go over to
He doesn't know what to say to you, fancy posh hobnobby people.
I'll head over towards Ivan then, and just kind of go to touch Signy to bring her along with me, and then stop myself.
Well, you're all useless. His name was Finn, by the way. For the benefit of all of our viewers and listeners, his name was Finn. Finn Stocker. There you go. I go and generate names for these NPCs, and no one cares.
Justice for Finn.
Nice engine, man.
I've not even written his name down. I've just got Engine Man number 1.
I mean, I can't believe you've called him Engine Man. He's an engineer. Clue in the title.
Nah, Engine Man.
Engine Man.
I'm assuming this is Ivan simply because he is a different token to the rest of them.
Oh, yes, sorry.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. He is also very noticeably dressed different than all of the rest of them. Not to say that he looks out of place. He totally looks like he should be down here. But he... You can... Whereas a lot of the others have got like aprons on and have shovels and are very noticeably covered in coal dust. He, on the other hand, he's not covered in coal dust. He's more got like he's kind of got like engine grease like smeared across his head. Like he looks a bit more like he has been tending the machine rather than kind of keeping the fires going and the steam running.
Just make my way over to him. Ivan, I presume.
He turns, and as he does so, you can see he's got like a rag in his hands, and he's like wiping like some grime off of his hands, and he goes, yes, at your service, and then he reaches his hand out to give you a handshake.
Seaton will pause for a moment and then go in for the handshake.
Yeah.
And then kind of try and surreptitiously afterwards bring out a rag himself and kind of clean his hands.
Ivan's handshake is just the right level of firmness where he is clearly asserting his masculinity, but also being respectful of you as the receiver of the handshake. He has big spade hands and they're very calloused.
He's a worker.
Just for chat's benefit, Jack has on occasions commented how much he likes lots of details to bring realism from the stories.
I have indeed.
Chat are also enjoying the description of the big rough hands, but that's because chat thirsty.
I'm almost Lieutenant Colonel there. I'm Mr. Bartholomew Seaton of Seaton Steel. I am just one of the guests from upstairs. I'm just inspecting the execution of the steel down here. And the best person to talk to, of course, would be the engineer.
Of course. Chief Engineer Holmland, at your service, I guess. For if you are Seaton of Seaton Steel, is that right?
Yes, I am I'm the son.
Well, I can tell you that some of the finest steel I've seen in my career. This ship is guaranteed to sail for decades. Foreshadowing.
Ivan, you do us too kind. I'm pleased this is
unsinkable, some have said.
As
foreshadowing.
Well, it is always good to see the true heart of the ship.
Ooh. He...
You're waiting for someone to disagree with you.
I am.
Yeah, you're hoping someone will be like, it's not here.
Don't be such a fool.
It's not here. No, actually, he is going to tell you that it is here, but not where you think it is. He turns round and he smiles at you. It's like a knowing smile, and he he's going to now try and do this thing where, without saying it specifically, he's going to try and, when two people try to let each other know that they know without saying what they know.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. And he's going to smile and he'll be like, yes, the heart of the ship. Indeed. Its beating heart, that's for sure. The true heart of this ship is right here. And he points to just here at the start of the engine itself. On the floor, there is, nestled among all the metal plates, tucked away almost entirely out of sight, one of the metal, a small square has been cut out of the corners of where all these metal plates meet. And nestled in the square that it has made, there is wood. It's like wooden planks. And on top of them, there is, screwed into them is like a plaque. And you can't read what it says from here. But it's definitely it's definitely a plaque, and it's definitely different to everything else down here.
Dagmar's just gonna boldly just walk straight up to it.
It is wooden planks that have been brought tightly together. They obviously were put here with some reverence. This wood is lacquered and polished. In fact, it reminds you, it would immediately kind of conjure to you the outside of a ship, like a wooden ship. That kind of very tightly planked wood with that really kind of that real glossy, where the wood is being protected from the sea. And the plaque that has been screwed into it just has engraved on it the ship's name and the date that she was launched.
So why... Dagmar's going to turn to the engineer. Why is this the heart of the ship? Surely, and then point at the big engine thing. Surely that's the thing that's driving everything. Why would this be the heart?
He smiles. Then he looks back at Mr. Seaton, sort of in a bit of a moment of now in a panic that he thought that you knew what he knows, and now he's panicking that you don't know what he knows, and now he looks like a tit because he's telling you something that he knows because he thinks you know. Do you know what I mean?
I'm gonna give him what I want to perceive to be a knowing kind of smile of he's still learning, he's still trying to understand everything that's happening.
The chief engineer then kind of recognizes in Mr. Seaton that, and he smiles and he goes, it's folklore and superstition, but I'm not surprised that they've sent you down here to see it, considering that the ship is made from your family's steel. And you're not the first to come and visit it either. The two Laird brothers and the charming Miss Campbell have come down here as well as Mr. Morland and Mrs. Pierce. They've all been down here to see the plaque. This is the heart of the ship because it is the very last thing that is added in. It is that plaque there that completed the ship. It gave her name and made her finished.
Dagmar's going to keep playing into this kind of ditzy ignorance that's been personified. In a sense of like, oh, I see. And all those other people came down to see this too.
Yes.
Well, did they do anything when they were here, or did they just come to look at it?
Well, they came to look at it, to have a tour of the engine room. There's been some particular interest in the plaque. In fact, several of them have sort of given it a bit of a rub for luck. There was a little gathering of them, if I do remember.
On hearing that, I want to make my way over to it. And kind of look to see if it's been tampered with at all. There seems to be any other markings or anything there that shouldn't be.
Give me an investigation check. Oh, you have a hinder. Oh no, wait, hang on, no you don't. You have a help. I didn't check that last hinder off. You have a help. Oh.
The world's still ending.
I'm thoroughly uncomfortable.
I'm having the best time.
I don't know what you've done, but you need to share your secrets with all of us that play games. There is something slightly amiss about it. The plaque. It's a brass plaque, right? So it's got that nice uniform kind of sheen, that very uniform colour. Except it doesn't. It has patina. Like it has been burnt, or something has spilt on it that has reacted to it and kind of created that. Is patina the right word? He says, quietly Googling. Oh, that's that kind of like green. It's not patina. Patina is not the right word. Although patina is lovely. It's that kind of like green colour that appears on.
Do you mean that like Japanese burnt wood style?
It's the metal. It's like burnt metal. You know how it goes almost oily?
Oh, yes. Yes.
That. It gets that kind of almost oily cut, as if a little drop of oil has been spilt on it, where it's burnt. Everyone now Google burnt metal.
Yep.
I will give you all a moment to Google image search burnt metal. Yes, the plaque has been scorched.
That's not, from what I know, that's not normal for that.
No, it should be like pristine. I mean, the ship's brand new, for goodness sake. It should be pristine.
Oh, point this out to Dagmar. and just kind of lean into him and go, that should not be burned that way.
Do we think the PLC may have done this?
It's made entirely better by the fact
made it a group.
it's made entirely better by the fact that it could stand for private limited company.
I know. That's what I was-
mean, in Dagmar's head, it stands for personal liquor cabinet, but that's fine.
Personal liquor cabinet. Chat have provided some excellent options, none of which I will repeat.
I guess,
I think so.
do we involve the engineer at this stage and ask maybe, are they aware that this has been tampered with?
He's superstitious as it is, and I wouldn't want him to get worried. Though he may know a way of appeasing.
Superstitions often are based on old stories or sometimes fact, correct? That's what we found.
Correct.
Or at least the kind of things I found when I'm forced to sober up.
I will place my hand on it.
It's cold. It's like ice cold.
And considering it's next to this, should not
In
be
fact,
that cold.
I would describe it as corpse cold. But that's a very, very specific kind of cold that very few people know what that feels like.
Would Mr. Seaton, would this trigger a memory at this point?
Oh?
I was going to say, would it for Dagmar too?
May?
It's a bit of touchy-touchy.
What?
That's not what we're doing here.
Oh, sorry. I was going for the plaque. That's your hand, isn't it, Seaton? I do apologise.
Well. Well. I don't know what to say. I imagine that it's going to be one of those. It's a recoil sensation from it. It's so utterly contradictory. In fact, I imagine both of you would recoil from it because at first you think it's hot. Like everything down here is signaling the brain that things in here are really hot, don't touch them. So when you touch something really cold, I imagine your brain at first would warn you that's really hot. So you'd probably both pull your fingers away and then realise it's not hot, it's cold. And that probably would make you goosebumpy, like, why is it cold? It probably would create in you the same sort of sensation, that weird feeling, that really uncomfortable feeling that you get when you're like, when you're looking out of when it's dark outside and you're looking outside a window and you're like, what would I do if someone looked back in through this window at me? And then you get the collie wobbles, as I call them.
Yep. Nope.
Where you're then like, I can't look at the window. I can't look at any of the windows in the house.
Nope.
I have to run upstairs where there won't be a person.
But what if they're really tall? Dagmar's going to kind of lean into Seaton, obviously having slightly kind of done that uncomfortable recoil, and just sort of gently look at Seaton and say, I know you're thinking we shouldn't cause alarm here, but I think we're past the stage of being discreet, aren't we? If we're going to cause superstitious alarm, it's better than no alarm, because we can already tell that whatever problems are coming, they're not far away.
I was hoping to tell the engineer that everything's fine, but we've got a storm coming. He needs to make an offering. But
Ooh.
I think keeping it discreet, because if someone down here is in league with anyone upstairs, we don't want them feeling that we know something. We don't know who's involved in this. We know
the
PLC.
is real.
We know the PLC, but there could be someone down here just keeping an eye. They might already know that we know too much.
I mean, I can keep playing the ignorant child here if it gets any information.
I don't think we're going to get any more information out of this.
Dagmar immediately stands bolt upright and goes, "Why is it so bloody cold?"
Ivan's gonna like be a bit surprised and taken aback by the sort of sudden stand up and outburst. He is going to frown. He immediately, he doesn't even wait, he doesn't even check his instruments or anything. He comes straight over, kind of bobs down, like you guys have done, and then puts his hand on it, feels it's really cold. You see he then pulls like a handkerchief out, dabs it on his tongue and tries to wipe away whatever the grime on it is. And then when it doesn't come off, he kind of leans back, and then there's like a little moment of silence, and then he says, "That's not good." And it's there that we're going to take a little break.
Let's.
Because it is about time for us to have our little break. So we are going to have a short rest. We're going to go and roll some hit dice, have some of our consumables, and maybe take a health potion or two. While we're doing that, we will leave. We will leave all of you to go and make sure that you have got snacks and refreshments. Hydrate, don't dehydrate, and all of that malarkey. And we will be 15 minutes. Is 15 minutes enough? That will be 5 past the hour.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah,
In that case, we will be 15 minutes. We will catch you after the break. We are back from our break. Oh, I've only put me up. There you go. Hi, everyone. It's just me. This is it. No, I'm only kidding. Welcome back. We're back from the break. We've rolled some hit dice. We've had some drinks, consumables, all the things, and we're ready to pick up where we left off. We find our brave souls. Here are our brave souls. Look, aren't they fabulous? We find our brave souls in the engine room of a ship. A ship that is doomed. There you go, I've said it. The ship is doomed, really. There is a terrible prophecy about the ship that it is doomed to sink under terrible circumstances, killing all aboard. That's if our brave souls, our fabulous members of the society, well, maybe they can solve the mystery, prevent the doom, and save everyone aboard the ship. But right now, they're in the engine room, trying to find the heart of the ship, in the hopes that they can speak to the shipro, a kind of gnome that lives aboard all ships, really, and to seek this mythical creature's help. But it seems that all is not well, for our chief engineer, Ivor Holmland, has just popped down, touched the plaque, which is icy cold, and has exclaimed that this isn't good. So bring us back over to the battle map. There you go, lovely.
As he exclaims this, I just want to... Do you know who may have tarnished the plaque? You said some people rubbed it. Who rubbed the plaque?
I don't know. It's not like we're charging admission down here. I just assumed that people would just touch it for some luck on the maiden voyage of the ship.
Thank you, Ivor. Maybe we're trying to give an offering of some kind.
Well, we're going to have to do something. Otherwise, we may as well be doomed.
You have more experience on ships than what I do. What would you do to please the spirit?
Well, it depends what ship you're on. Each one's different, isn't it? Like, each one is slightly unique, like we are. I mean, we haven't been aboard this ship for very long, so I don't entirely know. I've fallen back on my good old favourite, which is whiskey.
Enter Dagmar, who I believe still has a bottle of liquor in their knapsack that they occasionally take a cheeky nip from.
I mean, yeah. Well, but I don't know. I haven't got to know the ship yet properly. This is a maiden voyage. I mean, I've just been putting a little tot of whiskey out there. Maybe that'll do. The first ship I ever served on, that little ship's roar, that liked fish. But then it was a fishing vessel.
Is this the first steam ship that you've been on like this?
No. You don't become chief engineer without some prior experience.
Of course. My apologies.
But this is probably the largest and most complex steam engine that I've been in charge of.
What did those ship roars?
All sorts of things, really. They're kind of unique. You just kind of work out what works as you go. But normally, you just share what you have. It's a part of the crew, after all. This is why I'm starting off with whiskey. We're all drinking whiskey down here when we get the steam engines to, successfully cycle and run. And we've always celebrated with a little drop. So we share. I mean, I kind of was hoping that we'd get some sign. If the maiden voyage goes well, then we know whiskey's good. If the maiden voyage doesn't go very well, then we know maybe we need something else. We had one ship that liked cake, and that was a bit of a nightmare. Cake doesn't last very long out here.
How did you make the offering? Did you just leave it out and then come back? Or did you place it and the shep's roll would appear?
He reaches into his jacket pocket and he pulls out a thimble. And he's like, we've been using this. I just put a little drop in the thimble and then I put it down there, and then when I come back it's empty. Don't go telling him that that's because Mum and Dad drink it while he's asleep, because it will break his heart.
What do you think, Seaton? I'm willing to part with a thimble's worth of my precious alcohol.
I think we should try it.
May I take said
Yeah,
thimble?
he hands you over the thimble. I mean, it's not a thimble, really. It's a bit too big for a thimble. Like, maybe it's a thimble for his thumb, like for Spade Hand's thumb.
It's a Weatherspoon shot glass, isn't it?
It's a Witherspoon.
I didn't realise this was a unit of measurement.
No, it's not. It's one of those, like, when you go to, like, a Vodka Revs or one of those, like, when they know that they're going to have trouble, and so they only do plastic glasses, and you get one of those plastic shot glasses. So it's like this big, and it's exactly 25 mils to the top.
Well, Dagmar's going to pour out, take a huge glug, pop it back in their knapsack, and like, so just place this by the plaque, or?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. There we go.
Yeah.
While we're doing that, I'm going to
Dagmar's going to
wave
pull
at
the bottle
signaling.
back out and take another swig. Sorry.
Keep hydrated. That's the key.
I'm going to wave Signy over while we're doing this.
Yes, what's Signy been doing through all of this? That's a good question.
She's not even been looking at you guys. She's kind of like looking like that bored child staring at the ceiling.
Oh my
Thinking to
god.
herself.
Which when you go to the science museum, there's like a 50-50 split of parents who have made a terrible decision and their children are like slipping into comas. They're that bored. And then there are parents who have made a terrible decision because they have completely lost their child, who has decided that they are now going to be an astronaut and have climbed into the moon lander or something.
Yeah, she's just staring at the ceiling, sort of thinking to herself, this is pointless. We should just go and talk to them. I don't know why we're even bothering to be here. And just cycling through how pointless this is.
Signy's like, I want to call out those bitches.
Yeah.
That's what I want to do. I want to go upstairs and I want to find those snobs and I want to be like, you did this! With no evidence, no plan, no backup.
She doesn't know how the world works.
I love her.
So yeah, she's just cycling through this in her head. And then after all this, getting rid of you and I'm going home is what she's thinking about the creature. No plan.
No plan at all.
No.
Of course. And then you're sort of drawn from your thoughts by Mr. Seaton, who appears at your side.
And just kind of take her hands and try and bring her to what we're doing.
We'll wander over.
I'm assuming I've got a notepad on me of some kind to be able to write and explain.
I imagine that you're now almost permanently carrying one because, I mean, Signy, it's the only way that you can communicate to Signy.
Yeah. And I'll just write down that this is the heart of the ship, and it's cold to the touch, which is not good. Equals not good.
Could have guessed that one. I'm sorry, but this seems really obvious. Are we not just wasting time?
Seaton will just kind of sigh. He will then write on the paper that I was hoping this could help.
Just nod.
And I'll look over to where the tot of whiskey is. Hopefully that does something.
Well, we can all hope. I'd best get back to tending this engine. And the chief engineer gets up and moves back to his station. He calls a few orders, and you get the measure of the man by the way that he calls orders down here. He's very polite, so he says please at the end. So even though he's giving people orders, he's still saying please. And the orders that he's given, like, he shouts to one of the engine staff that they need to stoke the fire in the third furnace because he can hear that it's off. And you immediately kind of get the measure that actually this man is probably a part of the ship. He's probably a part of it at this point. And it leaves the three of you by the plaque. There is another one of these moments where the ship crests a wave that is much higher than all the other ones around it. You get another one of those horrible, like, up and over the hill feelings as you kind of fall down into the gully between the waves. You see all of the engineers grab hold of something, and down here you really hear the noise because the engine room is quite cavernous. You really hear the noise of the like groaning ship. That all of the everyone can, if you're catching up on YouTube, rewind a little bit. If you're watching on Twitch, there's a clip somewhere knocking around of me making the ship noise. It really groans very loudly, and then you hear thunder over the sound of the engine, which is quite noisy.
Well, it's not going to be good staying down here. I think it's time we talk to the PLC.
I'm glad that's stuck. Dagmar's going to take another nip of the drink and go, Yeah,
Seaton's literally having his hand out
l-
towards it.
you're probably right. Okay. I mean, we can't stay here waiting for the ship scroll. We don't even know if it wants what it wants. Perhaps our offering will make it aware that it can find us if it wants appeasing. But yeah, I agree. We need to do something fast.
I will write down a bit of paper. Showing me going to talk to the PLC.
All right, is that where you're headed?
Which one are we going to first?
Whichever one we encounter first, I think.
As Seaton and Signy start to kind of wander away, Dagmar's just going to linger and stare down at the plaque on their own. Just give it that extra hesitation, just in case there is any kind of sign of something being there. Is there any obvious movement or shifts or anything to do with that whiskey shot that's been left behind?
No, not at all.
Dagmar's just going to say the words "find me" and walk off and follow Seaton.
Alrighty. You head up.
Once,
You're
sorry.
Oh, go on. Go ahead.
Once we're out of the, back in the hallway, and it's a little bit quiet and there's no one about, I'm just gonna stop and think, and kind of look at everyone, and just kind of go, and write down at the same time. Would it be worth telling the first mate? If the crew know, if we have any troubles, at least they're going to be on our side. That they know that we are with them. So if the wrong end of the stick gets pointed in our direction, we're not the ones thrown off the ship. We have the crew on our side.
I'm really disappointed that you thought about that.
I'd like
I was
to
gonna
add to
have a
that,
whole
Seaton.
like mutiny, like throwing you off the ship, like albatross style. But oh well.
Seaton, I have a counter proposal that yes, we should tell the crew that. But what if we were to tell members of the PLC the same concern? That way, people's reactions and who talks to who will give us an idea of who's involved. If everyone has the same information,
Now that's some sharp thinking. I like that.
then those who are trustworthy will deal with it properly.
And at least the first captain, the first mate knows who not to trust.
Mm-hmm.
I like it. I'll write down what we're doing and
Yeah, that's
try to see and go question mark at the end.
Signy hasn't heard any of this, obviously, and before she sees your paper, she's got her back to you and she just starts talking in her own, having not heard you. What about the journalist? If anybody knows anything about anyone, it would be her. And then I'll turn around and see your paper. Oh, or that.
Journalist. Yes. I know her, and I've forgotten her name.
Hurtley.
Thank you. If you three were to go and talk, or you two were going to go talk to the first mate, I can go talk to Hurtlu. We have a history. At least she'll be able to spread some news that way. Also, if she's seen anything.
Signy's going to start putting her hand up. I still can't hear you, but... What about Madam... What, I've forgotten her name, the old lady.
Hilding, Madam Hilding.
Hilding. I was going to say Hildegard, and I was like, that is not the right name.
It's close, it's close.
Close. What about Madam Hilding? Maybe we should update her scenes as I ran out of her room.
I vote we tell all of these people what we know up to this point, apart from our suspicion of the PLC. Some may have extra information that helps us, some may not. But Madame Hilding is a good idea.
So, Stephen's going to write the pad. He's going to say, tell everyone, Signy, Madam Hilding, Dagmar, first mate, and myself to Hurtlu. Split the party.
I'm going to take the notepad off you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm right. Can I take the notepad? Even though I could have said it, she's just going to write, can I take the notepad?
Like when someone whispers to you and you just naturally whisper, like when you're on the phone and someone's like, hey, I've got to be really quiet because I'm like, whatever. And you start going, oh, okay then. Like, you don't need to be quiet, you're on the phone.
Slowly suggesting you can actually talk as well.
Yes.
All right. So this is the plan.
Team anti-PLC. Break.
Yep.
This is the plan. You're going to
Society
split.
Rangers.
Please say there's a chant.
Things are getting out of hand. We're going to split the party. That's my. I just want to clarify that first of all.
We're running out of time. Yes.
Yep, leave the deaf one alone.
If we split the party, where do we all meet when we're finished?
Are you writing that down?
You got
Yes.
the notepad.
I'm going to take it off you and just go, where do we, and as I'm writing it, saying it, where do we all meet when we're finished? Finish, follow it up with, where were we before? Signy's room?
My
Signy's
room. She'll write that. I'll put my room.
Okay.
She's taken to writing for some reason.
Agreed.
All right. So, just to clarify, who's going where? Just to be deadly sure. I didn't mean
Dagmar.
deadly. That was a
Really?
pretty
Whereas
good choice.
Dagmar's going back up to the first officer.
The first officer.
I'm going to Madam Hilding.
Yep.
And I'm going to Hurtlu.
You're going to Hurtlu, the reporter.
Hurtlu, reporter.
All right. Everybody roll me a d6.
Oh, no.
You do that by going into the chat box and doing /r space 1d6.
/r
Space
Space.
1d6.
1d6. I was muted and you still knew that was the question I was asking.
Or get it wrong.
I just know these
What?
things.
To be fair, I marvelled about 5 minutes ago when I realised that your chair is changing colour.
Yeah.
For a minute I was like, I'm seeing
Is there
things.
another way
Nope.
to do it? Because I can't.
Oh.
My keyboard's being. If
Oh.
I just click D6, will that do it?
Click it and find out. I'm excited.
Oh, it does. There you go.
Look at that. Super. All right. Signy, you rolled the highest, so you can go first.
Woo.
Spirit fingers. Actually, interestingly enough, you would reach Madam Hilding first.
It was meant to be.
It was meant to be. You arrive. You probably all split the party about here on the first class floor, where your bedrooms are, is probably where you will split the party. Madam Hilding is on... Her room is just down the corridor from your rooms. Dagmar, you know the first mate is all the way up in command, so you're going to have to head all the way up there. And Mr. Seaton, you can probably guess you will find the reporter in either like the ballroom, the casino, the restaurant, the like on the deck. Well, probably not on the deck 'cause it's pouring with rain, thundering, and lightning outside. Or there's that upstairs saloon.
Mm-hmm.
Probably she'll be in one of those places, hobnobbing and trying to get gossip to write stories. So we'll start with Signy. As you knock on Madam Hilding's door.
I won't. Wait for an answer.
There isn't one.
I'll knock louder. Hello?
Nothing.
I look round. Have the other two already gone?
Yeah, you're in the corridor completely alone.
I try the door handle. Wondering if I'm just being deaf and they're shouting me, saying, come in.
The door opens.
Uh-oh.
I'll do that,
Uh-oh.
like, don't want to intrude, and just poke my head round.
As you poke your head round, lightning illuminates the room, and then there is an almighty crack of thunder. Madam Hilding's room is completely empty. As if no one had stayed here. Like, there's not even bedding. The whole thing is empty. It's got all the furniture, but there's no bedding. There's none of the signs that anyone's been here. There's no fresh fruit bowl. There's no... So much so that you feel like you've picked the wrong room.
I check the door. The number and that. Is there still signs from when I was locked in her bathroom?
No.
Strange. I will go in.
What's really strange is it's at this precise moment that your brain is then going to catch up with itself and realise that you heard the thunder.
Hello? Did I hear myself?
Yes.
She is going to let out a little smile.
Freedom!
And like a nervous laugh. Okay. I'll walk in the room and I'll just do like a really quick, not very good search to make sure there's nothing in the drawers. Like, I'm not just missing something. But I guess it's empty.
Yeah. Yeah. It's either all of you have completely imagined Madam Hilding, or someone has gone to exceptional lengths to make her disappear.
I'm going to leave the room.
Just as you're going to leave the room, you hear that voice.
Oh.
It comes from it comes from your shoulder, as if the thing is sitting on your shoulder, talking into your ear. And it says, "She's not here. None of your allies are here. You're all alone."
What do you mean, none of them? Oh, I can hear again, by the way, thanks.
You could always hear.
If you say so. What do you mean none of our allies are here?
Exactly what I mean. You think you have an ally in Madame Hilding, but she's gone. You think you have an ally in the creature that haunts this ship. It's gone too.
If only you were so easy to get rid of. I need to warn the others. I'm gonna start running down the corridor.
You need to get off the ship. Find safety any way you can.
You'll keep me safe, won't you?
You have to get off the ship. You have to do it now.
And leave everyone. How do I get off a ship? Jump in the sea?
Find a way. It's coming.
It's coming.
There's no answer. As you come sprinting down the corridor, trying to bound up the steps like two at a time, holding up your... I'm imagining you're probably still wearing your fancy dress because you probably are never going to take it off. Bounding up the stairs. So you've like hiked your dress so you can bound up these stairs. And you probably get to the very top of the stairs on the deck level. As this creature says, it's coming. And when you ask it what's coming and it doesn't say anything, there's like a shiver. That leads us to Mr. Seaton. As you've headed up to the deck level, you have found Pertlu in the kind of ballroom area, because that's where the bars are. She's in the ballroom, area. She's lounging on some of the luxurious red sofas that fill the corners of these rooms. And she's taken off her shoes. So she's left her shoes on the floor. She's popped her feet up on the sofa, and she's using her legs and her knees as like a desk. And you can see she's like thinking and writing and scribbling and writing. So she's obviously like writing story ideas. And on the floor, within her reach, she's got like a what's the word I'm looking for? Like a champagne flute, just like on the floor within her reach. She's not the only one in here. The two Russians are also in here, but they're sat on the like on the other sofa, just very quietly talking to one another.
I'll make my way over to her. Mind if I sit and join you?
She starts a little bit, and then she looks up at you and she says, "Please be my guest." And then there is a crash of thunder, and you see her physically jump. And she says, "Gosh, the weather outside is really bad." Nervously.
It does seem that way, doesn't it? Any interesting story ideas?
Well, I couldn't possibly reveal, probably next week's stories, can I? I don't want to be giving you my headlines early.
And what would I do with your headlines earlier? I'm not going to sell them to a competitor, am I?
She looks right at you.
Have I ever done that to you?
Not yet.
You ruined me. Did you think I would?
That's the thing. It's always the people you least suspect that leave you high and dry. That's how they get away with it.
That, I must admit, I can agree with. I would like to chew your ear for a moment with a story. One that I think will definitely make the headlines if we manage to find a way off this ship.
Oh. Dreadful pinging by the DM right there. There you go. Oh, do tell! And she flicks over to the next page where she's clearly getting ready to take notes.
First, tell me, what have you been able to witness the interactions between Percival, Scarlet, and Amelia?
She frowns at you. In what way?
I don't believe they're being truly honest with their intentions for this ship. And I've lowered my voice now so that
she sits up, like you've basically just given her like gold dust, and she's like, "Really? Do tell. Spill the beans, Mr. Seaton."
First, I need to know if you have noticed or seen anything yourself. Your keen eye must have seen something between the three of them.
I've seen everything that has happened on this ship. Honestly, I have got the next headlines for probably 2 weeks. Drama, intrigue, mystery, scandal.
Well, this will definitely be the headline that will get your name recognized. My belief...
Now you simply must tell me.
My belief is that they have sabotaged the ship and are heading it towards this storm.
She's like furiously writing. Do you have any evidence? What makes you think this? Do you have proof? Is it just a hunch?
No, there is evidence and proof, but I need to know if you've seen anything yourself. I mean, you're so crafty yourself. You know stories, and you said you have headlines. I will give my information if you give me yours.
Deal. But we'll do a little trade. You tell me something, I tell you something, you tell me something, and then that way, nobody has monopoly on the information. You've already told me something, and I must admit, what a thing to tell me. So I guess it's my turn. What to tell you? The Laird brothers have run out of money.
Now, come now. That's an easy one to see. That's not fair.
It's within the rules of our little game, Mr. Seaton.
But it's information that I already know.
Oh, come now, Barty. I'm just playing by the rules.
But you're giving me information that I already know. So you have taken information out of my own mouth as well. That is not fair to the rules.
It's a tough game. Your turn.
I would call that.
The tension.
This lady will get a story any way she can. She's a pro. I'm literally like
to be ridiculously attracted.
I'm like quickly.
Manipulation levels are like hello.
I'm like imagine how you would be an extremely successful female reporter in this day and age in this particular world. And I'm like, if you were ridiculously attractive, uncomfortably intelligent, and willing to do just about anything. Well, Mr. Seaton, don't keep a lady waiting.
The ship's engineer, Ivor, has seen the three of them down in the engine room, tampering with the machine, and he's not sure what they have done, but something is amiss. And he is trying to fix it as we speak.
By amiss, you don't mean the ship has started sinking, do you? Because if it has, Barty, there's a lifeboat with our name on it.
If it had been sinking, I would be carrying you myself to that lifeboat.
Okay, my turn.
Now, information that I don't know.
You'll need to ask Madam Hilding to read your mind. That is well outside my area of skills, but I'll do my best. The Laird brothers are completely out of money. Completely.
You've just repeated yourself.
I know. Hold on to your pocket square. Do you know how much this ship is worth?
I assume Seaton actually does know.
Yes, you would know the exact number. You'd probably be able to guess the exact number.
I recite it. What?
Bang on. Well, close enough. Now here's the real question. Do you know how much this ship is worth if it sinks?
The insurance money would be substantial on this vessel.
The insurance money would be substantial on this vessel. Your turn.
Yes. Just make sure I'm getting my own information right here. Yeah. Scarlett, the CEO, is basically in line with the brothers, isn't she? But she's still...
No, so Scarlett, she owns the company that bought the boat.
that bought the boat.
Yeah, so there's two sets of CEOs here. There's Shettle and Scarlett. They're the CEOs of Norwegian American Lines. That's the cruise line who have bought the boat. Campbell and Laird built the boat. So they're the CEOs of the ship makers.
Okay. Okay, I'm gonna go out on a limb on this one.
Oh, I'm excited. There is another crash of thunder, and it makes Pertlu jump again, and she looks at you a little bit wide-eyed, and she says, "When you say sabotage, you don't mean..."
We are being pushed into this storm.
Yes, that doesn't make me feel any better.
One of my companions is getting ready to raise the alarm.
Good. Because I don't want to get wet.
Neither do I. Now, one of the reasons I am on this ship is not just because it's Seaton steel. We are still owed money for the steel.
She's like, "Write that down!" And she goes, "You're still owed money?"
Indeed.
And I imagine it's because the shipmakers don't have any money to pay you for the steel.
That is correct.
Interesting. I guess it's my turn. I don't want to encroach on your intelligence, but just in case, the Laird brothers won't get any of the insurance because they don't own the ship. So if they're sabotaging it, let's just say a Laird and Pierce seem to be very chummy. Chummy as in brokering deals and making plans for the future. If you get my meaning, talking about a line of American cruise ships.
That is interesting. Now you have information I did not know.
Imagine the ship sinks. No one ever gets on a Norwegian American cruise ever again, for fear that they too will sink. She gets all the insurance money, starts up her own company, bails out a shipmaker, probably blaming the steel in the process.
And with the heir to the Empire no longer with us, an old man is left to have to fend for himself.
Seems to me that you are surrounded by enemies.
And why do you think I came to a friend? I know you're a reporter, but You've always been able to help me see things a little bit more clearly.
Yes, I'm a reporter. But you did bail me out that once. And I don't know if I'll ever be able to repay that debt. So I will always help when I can.
Well, hopefully we will all be getting off this one.
It's probably about this point that a panicky, and I mean panicky, that a panicky Signy is going to come bursting in to the ballroom and kind of go click clop, click clop, click clop, running across the ballroom floor towards you guys.
I think you're about to get more of a story.
I give no chance. I haven't looked at who's in the room. I just run towards you. I'm like, Madam Hooven's gone. She's gone.
And we're
like, gone. She never existed.
She never existed! And we're gonna cut to upstairs. Because we can. Because I'm that person. Dagmar, you reach the command part of the ship. And it is it's worse in here than it was before. The orders are coming through thick and fast. There is stress and there is fear in this room. There is a crash of thunder as you enter in, and the thunder just rolls overhead with lightning flashing, illuminating the sky. And at this point, it really is starting to illuminate how choppy this water is getting. And you're all starting to notice this is turning into quite a rough ride on this boat. And as you come in, the captain is shouting, "Keep us pointed into those waves. If one of those catches us side on..." And then there's more there's info being shouted back at her. You see the first officer, who is like hanging onto the table trying to draw lines to plot where the ship's going.
Dagmar's not going to mess around. Like, obviously, everything's side to side, so going to kind of get over to that table where all the map work is going on, just to kind of hold on slightly. And what was his name? Is it Hangen or Hungen? Hunger? I can't remember his name.
Hagen does.
Hagen. My handwriting. Hagen does. Yeah.
Hagen does.
Obviously going to rock up. Mr. Hagen. Mr. Hagen. I think we have a problem aboard this ship.
He turns to look at you, and you can see he looks worried.
So I've come up here to inform you because this was based on your suggestion. We travelled down to the engine room. The engineers down there introduced us to what was referred to as the heart of the ship. We believe that there is a collaboration of people that are trying to interfere and are purposely bringing this storm to this ship with an intent of the ship's destruction and sinking this ship.
Do you have any evidence or proof of this?
Dagmar's going to kind of look gently around to make sure no one's necessarily leaning in, leaning close, and just say, the ship's roar's gone. The heart of the ship has been tampered with.
So there is nothing to protect this ship.
No.
And we are heading into a cursed storm.
I think even if you all dropped the anchor and stopped, the storm would find you.
As you say that, one of the sailors in the room shouts out, "Captain! What's that?" And is pointing, and everyone kind of rushes over to where these big windows are. It's really dark outside now because the clouds are so dark and so thick and the rain is so heavy. There is a flash of lightning, and there is without a doubt something rising up out of the water. It's rising up out of the sea, out of the ocean. Now, and it doesn't look like anything that you would expect to see. It's long, and it curves in a way that things just shouldn't, as if it's holding its own shape, as if it's holding its own way up. And there are murmurs and shouts from the sailors as they're trying to assess and guess what it is. And then a second one uncurls itself out of the water. They are right ahead. The ship is sailing straight towards them. And the captain says, "I don't know what those are, but let's not crash into them. Hard to starboard." And everyone in the room snaps back to their posts as they try to steer the ship away from whatever it is that rises up from the water. And it is there that we will end tonight's session.
Absolute bastard.
Mm-hmm.
I've got to leave it on a cliffhanger. We've got to leave things on cliffhangers, otherwise the lovely viewers won't come back. The only reason these viewers keep coming back is to find out what is happening.
Well, as a regular Sea of Thieves player, I'm very triggered right now.
There is someone aboard the ship who I can guarantee will be far more triggered. little wave from Colonel Seaton.
Yep.
A huge thank you to every one of you who has joined us this evening or who is catching up on our YouTube. Thank you so much. I'm also incredibly thankful to all of my amazing players over here who bring all of my ridiculous stories to life. We're going to go round the board to each of you with the famous with the famous little slogan that I'm now panicking as I try to remember. So we'll start off with Dagmar. Who are you? Who did you play? Where can we find you? What do you want to say?
Well, I'm Dan or Dev. That's people call me. And my pronouns are they, them. I've been playing Dagmar Eriksson, the Vagabond. I can be found on a range of social media platforms under the username Div and Inc. I am currently a full-time streamer on Twitch. Thank you very much for the shout out, Mikey. But I can also be found on YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, and God knows what else. I guess it's really nice to be back. It's been a real break before we've been able to come back to this. but it's been really fun just to kind of get back into the story and take part in such a well-crafted RPG game. So hats off to you, GM. As always, the suspense is wonderful, and the what's the word? The cliffhangers make us hate you continuously.
That right? Yeah.
Your hatred sustains me.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And that brings us on to Signy, who, I mean, I just hand it over to you for your equally famous tagline.
Short but sweet. Well, I couldn't have worded it better than Dan. I've missed this. I'm adding, because if not, it's so short and sweet. I'm Amy, I played Signy. You can find me nowhere, because I hate the internet.
Hashtag, you can't find her anywhere.
No. Or what was it? Hashtag, she doesn't matter.
Wow.
Wow!
Is what Mikey said.
No, yeah, that is a shout out. That is a shout out to. Wow, that was an episode that nearly killed me. I don't know how I survived the laughter from that.
They call him Mutinous Mikey for a reason.
Mutinous Mikey for a reason.
Believe me, the internet doesn't want me, so it's fine.
And last but by no means least, Mr. Seaton, aka Mr. Snobbington. Who are you? Who did you play? Where can we find you? What do you want to say?
So I'm Jack, also known as Viking Jack. I've been playing Mr. Bartholomew Seaton / Lieutenant Colonel Bartholomew Seaton. You can find me on Instagram under jmbarber_the Colonel, which I've started posting a little bit more on. Mostly miniatures, painting. I have another Throne of Skulls competition coming up in August, so I need to get a lot more minis painted for that. So hopefully you'll see a bit of a story going on with them as they get painted. That's the aim there.
I'm excited. I love a good mini paint.
Also, just down on top of it, thank you so much, Luke. It's been fantastic. The story is amazing and incredibly traumatizing.
This is very quickly turning into some sort of weird kink event, right? Where I treat you all terribly and you all say thank you.
We are all well and truly trauma bonded.
This is true.
I don't know if I should be proud of this creation.
You look quite proud, to be fair.
I am. I'm just trying to act slightly normal for the internet. And be like, oh, I don't know if I should. 100%.
Lives for this chap.
Also, maps absolutely incredible as always. That engine room was breathtaking.
What's particularly crazy about it is when you realise that that's all made out of actual teeny little bits that I've manually clicked together to make an engine. Because there's no engine, there's no big steam, so I just had to find a dome and then put a grill on it, and then find a tube, and then find a thing, and then find another. It was a map that I loved and hated in equal measure.
For a room
Imagine if we never went down there.
I would have been. I'd have never recovered.
And thank you so much, guys, for just being able to play again. I've really missed this. It's absolutely fantastic. Thank you all so much.
That leaves me. I guess I'm the last one on the list. My name is Loki, and I have been your game master for these dark and thrilling tales. You can find me here on the Society, surprise, where we continue on with our ongoing Vaesen campaign. I also want to do a big shout out to all of our moderators in chat who have diligently been out there keeping us safe from the internet trolls. So a huge thank you to the Society of Moderators who are out there battling internet trolls on our behalf and keeping us safe. We value you immensely. Please do yourselves some shout outs. So Mutinous Mikey, can you shout out Joey, and Joey, can you shout out Mutinous? Can the moderators shout one another out, please?
Mod love. Mods are the best.
Yes, mod love, because mods are the best. So a huge thank you. We are going to head over to our credit roll, and then I'm going to do more thankful things.
Ooh.
So prepare yourselves for an outflowing of thankfulness, which actually sounds really gross. It sounds moist, right? An outflowing of thankfulness sounds moist.
Oh, I could go for an outflowing of thankfulness.
Yeah, I feel like everyone is going to be left slightly soggy.
It is a bank holiday here in the UK.
Slightly soggy, like when it sort of rains, but not quite. So you're sort of soggy, but not quite wet. That's where we're going with this. So prepare yourselves as we head on over to the credit roll. We're going to say a big thank you and goodbye to our players. Say goodbye, players!
Goodbye, players.
And here we are in our credit roll. And I'm really glad that this is right, because I didn't check this page on OBS. So this could have been a disaster. Over here, as I try and point in the right direction, you will see our credit roll. All of the incredible contributors to our stream are going to slowly scroll up here. If you've seen anything in our stream tonight that you have absolutely loved and that you would like at your own tabletop, please do check them out. It's also in the chat if you're on Twitch, and in the details below if you are on YouTube. Please do go and check out these incredible content creators and all of the amazing things that they do for this stream, but also all the other amazing things that they do. And while they scroll along, I'm going to do my big thankfulness piece. So I want to say a huge thank you to everybody who subscribed today, everybody who threw some bits in our direction, everybody who raided in and brought some raiders with them. A huge, great big thank you for all of your love and all of your support for this channel. We really we stream this for you guys. We really enjoy playing these tabletop role-playing games, and we wanted to bring our excitement and our joy and our love for these games to you, and we do that through this channel. So without you, we just wouldn't be here. We wouldn't be doing the stream. We wouldn't be here telling these stories. So a huge thank you to each and every one of you who came on tonight, watched our shenanigans. For all of you who are catching up on our YouTube, a massive, massive thank you to every single one of you. We are really, really grateful, and it brings so many smiles and so many laughs to all of us in the cast and in the crew when we see you guys coming along and interacting with us in our stream. So a huge thank you to each and every one of you. We are very excited to continue Chapter 8 next week, which is very likely to be an almighty culmination. It will be adrenaline fueled, horror fueled, tension driven, and by the end of it, well, we'll see who lives and who does not. We're going to find someone to raid out. If any of the mods have got any of our fabulous raiders, I will set up the raid. I don't mean raiders, I mean people to raid to. Raidees. Have we got any raidees? /raid. Here we go. /raid. Oxford. They're playing D&D. Oh, lovely. All right. So /raid Oxford. Let me hit that in and see if we can do that. Hey, wonderful. We've created the raid. We're going to be heading on over to Oxford, who is busy playing D&D. So we're going to head on over there. Do give them some love. I'm going to say thank you once again before we head on over. and I look forward to seeing you all next week. Until then, see you later.